Republican and Freedom Watch regular Senator Mike Lee. Senator Lee, always a pleasure. Welcome back to Freedom Watch.
Thank you, Judge.
What's your take on the president's proposal, which he announced Thursday night, and details of which came out last night?
Well, it presents more of the same failed economic policies that didn't get us out of the mess 2 years ago and only made matters worse. This president has brought us $800 billion in stimulus spending. He's given us $4 trillion in new debt. And what has happened? Well, unemployment's now up above 9%. What this president has done by expanding the size and scope and cost of the federal government has made matters worse. It's made unemployment worse. It's made the housing market worse. Every major economic indicator indicates that things are getting worse rather than better. So why we would want to go and do more of the same things that made it worse is beyond my ability to understand.
About a year ago, before you were in the Senate, and there were more Democrats there then than there are now, the president was unable to get the Senate to go along with an effort to raise taxes on people who were earning more than $200,000 as individuals or $250,000 as jointly filing married couples. What makes him think that that would happen now? Or stated differently, because you don't know what makes the president think, is this dead on arrival in a Senate, even where Republicans are in the minority but are close to the number of 50?
I think it's dead on arrival, and I think the president knows that. I'm not quite sure what the political, it just made matters worse. And I think we will see people in both houses and in both political parties saying, no, this really is not going to help.
Senator Lee, have you had the chance yet? I realize the president just spoke Thursday, and as we said earlier, this 155-page bill just came out about 24 hours ago. Have you had the chance to take the pulse of your Republican colleagues, especially your Tea Party Republican colleagues? And if you have, what have you discovered? Do they agree with you? Or are they willing to enter into some kind of a compromise, like many of them did over the debt ceiling with the White House?
Those that I've spoken to are tentatively, but so far fairly clearly of the opinion that this is more of the same problem. These are more of the same policies that really got us into a lot of trouble, and that this isn't something that we can support. And while it might be possible to cherry pick out one or two things here or there that might not be altogether objectionable, like extending the acceleration of depreciation for the acquisition of equipment for manufacturing. By and large, the bill as a whole isn't going to pass muster with most Tea Party Republicans, and I predict the overwhelming majority of Republicans in general.
Before I let you go, late this afternoon there was some sentiment, I think it came from the House Republican leadership, I don't know that it came from anyone in the Senate, that there might be some efforts to cherry pick this or slice and dice it or pass some small portions of it just to give the president something. Isn't it wrong for the government to do something just for the sake of doing something, even if the thing that it's doing does not enhance prosperity, but just to take credit for having done something? Isn't that worse than doing nothing?
Well, there certainly is no reason to do something just for the sake of doing something, even if it doesn't do any good. There are, however, a lot of things that we could do, and I believe we should be doing, in order to promote economic prosperity in America. But most of those things, nearly all of them in my opinion, have to do with restricting the scope of government, restricting spending rather than expanding it.
Senator Mike Lee, always a pleasure. Thanks for joining us.